You know the drill. It's multi-steps, and we'll just kind of take it one step at a time. This activity specifically is called re-romanticizing, and we're just really focusing on what is in your relationship that's working really well, and what things would you like to add, or what things are missing. So the activity, actually, the first portion is all written.
Okay.
So I'm going to pass out a sheet of paper, and if you make sure not to look at each other's paper.
Okay.
So the first step is you're just going to take a few minutes to write down, you're going to complete this sentence. I feel loved and cared about when you, and you're going to fill in the blank. So I'll repeat it, and an example could be, you know, dropped off flowers at my office, or something they do more frequently, sit close when you're watching TV, something like that. So I feel loved and cared about when you.
How many should we have?
Yeah.
Let's shoot for at least 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Almost done.
That's okay. Sometimes it's easier for one partner to come up with a list.
Guess it's not doing very much for me then.
Well, I think, you know, his answers might have just been shorter. He might have had longer, in-depth
I
answers.
got 3 though, so.
Mine just came right up.
You got 3 things for me.
Okay, so before you get tempted to talk about them, we'll move on to the next step.
Okay.
So let's just take, before you write, just put your
sorry.
pens down for a second.
All right.
And take a couple seconds to think about when your relationship was really romantic. You felt
Oh yeah.
really in love and passionate. A lot of couples typically look at the beginning of their relationship, or whatever stage that kind of comes to mind when you're thinking of a very romantic time. Just give you a couple seconds to kind of get there in your mind.
And we should have 3 of those.
Oh, no, don't write that down yet.
Okay.
Just think about it for a second.
All right. Sucks.
Okay. So,
Think about.
It's
now
important.
on that piece of paper, you'll complete this sentence.
Okay.
Okay.
So the sentence that you'll be completing is, I used to feel loved and cared about when you, and then fill in the blank. So again, aim for 3.
All right.
I used to feel loved and cared about. So that seemed to go a lot quicker. You immediately identified some things that were missing, which is great. We'll get to that, but again, don't get overzealous. We won't share yet. And now we're doing the last writing piece. And I want you to think about, this was mentioned at the beginning in the introduction, sometimes we don't always communicate the things that we want. So I want you to think about some loving behaviors that you kind of wish your partner would do for you, but you've never really asked for. Sometimes it's something that you do for your partner and you would like to be reciprocated, and that might help you. And other times it's just something you've just never asked for. So again, we'll kind of aim for 3, but if you don't get 3, it's not a big deal.
I have 3, don't worry.
Okay. So thinking about that, the sentence that you're going to finish is, I would like you to. And that's it. Go for it. So the next step.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, great. So the next step is to just reflect on your list, still just keeping your own list, and you're going to you're going to kind of weigh them and think about the importance on that list. So if you were to weigh something really heavily, think it was very highly important, you'd give it a 1. And if you think it was kind of not that important to you, but would maybe be nice, so not so important, it would be a 5. So anywhere in that range.
Okay.
And just go through and rank 1 through 5 for each one of those
Alright.
statements. So the next step is that you are actually going to exchange. So if you want to just exchange papers. And I'll just remind you as you're looking over them what the prompt is for each one. So the top section is, I feel loved and cared about when you. The next section is, I used to feel loved and cared about when you. And the third section is, I would like you to. So are there any, maybe if you wanted to just pull 1 or 2 examples that kind of stood out to you about what your partner said?
All right. So one of the ones was, I feel loved and cared about. I feel loved and cared about you when you kiss me before you leave the house. I guess I don't do that anymore, and you know, it's not something hard to do, and I do like kissing you. I mean, I put sex on our list.
You did
So
a
come
lot.
on.
So what was the rank for that one, 1 through 5?
It was 1. It was really important to Joy.
Okay. And so that seems feasible for you to start doing?
Yes.
Okay, great. And Joy, were there any that stood out to you for any reason?
I mean, I guess I didn't realize that I hadn't been asking you about your day. So,
Mm-hmm.
because I know on mine I put that I want you to tell me important things that happened to you, because that makes me feel included.
Yeah, you put a 1 for that.
So, I guess I wasn't asking you great questions.
Okay. And Joy, what did Dax rank that one?
A 2.
A 2. So it's still really important.
Yep.
Great. So you already kind of started to do it, and Dax actually mentioned one that you could start doing, and Joy, you just mentioned one that you felt like you could start doing. So the way we want you to use this is almost as a plan
Okay.
to add romance back into your relationship. And with that plan, you're basically going to choose 2 to do each day.
Okay.
So you might want to start with some that are really easy, or you might want to start with ones that are really highly important on your partner's list. But before we get to that,
Okay.
I want you to just look down the list and see if there's any item on the list that you don't feel comfortable doing at this time, and maybe we'll revisit it later. And if that's the case, then you're just going to put an X on it for now. We don't have to really talk about that yet, but we can later on, because this will be something that we're going to do for the next couple months.
Okay.
Okay.
The last thing I just want to mention is, it sounds like you guys are interested in doing this and
Yeah.
trying it out. And it's also something that if you notice, Dax, for example, if you notice that Joy's doing something on your list, you want to really show appreciation and just verbalize that appreciation. And Joy, same thing. If you notice that Dax did something specific from your list, we're really going to try to acknowledge it.